Right, so we knew it was coming, but Keir Starmer has at last found his balls and confirmed that Jeremy Corbyn will not be standing for Labour in North Islington come the next general election. Corbyn remains a Labour member. It must be remembered Starmer had only banned him from sitting as a Labour MP, so in a way, he's taken the coward's way out. In order to stand as a now independent MP for North Islington, Corbyn would have to quit the party he once led, that he's been a member of for almost as many years as Starmer has been alive, and saving Keith the bad press of expelling him completely. Starmer once thanked Corbyn for leading the party through some difficult times. He paid tribute to him. He called him a friend and colleague, espoused how much he respected him, praised him up one side and down the other for opposing Tory inflicted austerity. But above all else, Starmer stood up to defend Corbyn against the attacks made on him, called them terrible, called out the vilification of him, and called them out for doing so, knowing exactly why they were doing it. I'll come back to Corbyn in a moment, but of course, once he got the top job himself, Starmer joined right in with the establishment, showed his true colours, showed his kindly words were all for show, joining in with the accusations. And so we come to where we are today, with Starmer having given a speech to say anti-Semitism is over in the Labour Party because the Equalities and Human Rights Commission, the EHRC, are withdrawing their scrutiny of the party following all those anti-Semitism allegations. No, it isn't. Like all forms of racism, it is an all-pervading societal ill and is something that must be challenged whenever it arises. And that's an ongoing thing. It doesn't just go away because you've said so. And when there is so much evidence to the contrary, only a fool would believe this. For one, the EHRC is a government quango. Strange word. You'll have heard it on the news before, I'm sure. But it's actually an acronym. It stands for Quasi-Autonomous Non-Governmental Organisation. In other words, it operates sort of independent of government, but not completely. It's a bit like those non-ministerial government departments I've talked about in other videos, like Ofgem or the Crown Prosecution Service. They're just less permanent. Functionally, it allows the government to point to an independent source, but just how independently it's acting is always questionable. Ofgem and our energy bills, for example, very much seem on the side of the energy profiteers, much like our Tory government seem to be as well. Corbyn was a threat to the establishment. He wanted to change things in this country radically, and they tried to get spy accusations to stick. They'd camp out on his doorstep, they're doing it again today, to try and get him angry, hating the press doing that as he did. They were desperate for a gotcha to bring him down, and anti-Semitism ended up being the stick they successfully beat him down with. Here's the thing, ultimately, though. There has been proper, truly independent coverage on this issue, and it hasn't reached the same conclusions the EHRC have, seemingly now backing off because Starmer is a safe pair of establishment hands. When Starmer began as Labour leader, he was forced into commissioning a report into all of these accusations and others relating to bullying and harassment within the Labour Party that came from a leaked report commissioned while Corbyn was still leader, the Ford report. It kept getting delayed. It kept getting held back. It soon became apparent why, because it spelt out in no uncertain terms that measures had improved under Corbyn's leadership, that the biggest problems relating to racism and bullying happened under the management of the previous General Secretary, who Starmer later gave a peerage to, and Corbyn's team, once established under Jenny Formby, set about trying to fix things, dealing with the backlog of reports the previous administration had just sat on and ignored. Now, as much as Martin Ford's report might have exonerated Corbyn's tenure to some extent, it wasn't as kind to Starmer's. He'd handed anti-Semitism training over to the right-wing Jewish Labour movement, despite Labour having other Jewish-affiliated bodies that were kept out of that process, kept out from contributing, such as Jewish Voice for Labour. Ford found their training lacking, being more about lecturing and indoctrination than any meaningful effort to re-educate. This hasn't changed. In fact, more recently, one of the founders of the JVL became elected to Labour's National Executive Committee, the highest ruling body of the party, save for the annual Labour conference itself, becoming the only Jewish member on it, only for Starmer to then suspend and expel her for the crime of attending a meeting of a proscribed group before the group had ever been proscribed. Starmer is being hailed as some kind of fixer of anti-Semitism, but the fact is more Jewish members have been expelled from the party under him than any other Labour leader ever, and undoubtedly because they were left-wing. His party ordered a Holocaust survivor to not speak to one of these proscribed groups on Holocaust Memorial Day or face expulsion. He quit in disgust. Who can blame him? 3 Jewish Labour members, including anti-racism activist Heather Mendick, were purged, accused of anti-Semitism for daring to question the party's tactic of purging people for anti-Semitism, for questioning the actions of the Israeli government against Palestinians. They were accused of undermining the party's ability to campaign against racism. This happened during Hanukkah. The EHRC have absolutely nothing to say about this because, as I say, they're a sham, and absolutely strikes me as anti-Semitic because it's supposed to be about dealing with racism, not purging factions of your own party under the guise of it. Expelling people for speaking to proscribed or banned groups before they were banned is full-on thought police stuff and shouldn't hold water. But Labour isn't a democracy, and it isn't for socialists or the left, despite it still branding itself very much as such. Starmer is just the worst kind of human being imaginable to enter politics. He believes in nothing save what he thinks will advance him personally at any given time and will flip on it in a heartbeat. And there's no bottom to the depths he'll stoop to advance his own ambitions. And so we come back to Corbyn. Having finally put the final nail in Jeremy's parliamentary Labour Party career, Starmer has ordered the left, still in Labour, many of whom elected him leader on his then platform of 10 pledges to carry on Corbyn's plans for change, to get behind his now exposed Blairite position, his nothing will change under me politics, his I'm a patriot, right-wing, flag-shagging mentality, or quit. He said the party is unrecognisable from 2019, and if you don't like that change, then the door is open and you can leave. All the time people have given, the volunteering, to leaflet, to knock on doors, to have conversations. Starmer's words to you now is that if you don't like his way of doing things, and by his, I think you should think more Epstein's mate Peter Mandelson's way of doing things. I don't believe Starmer is bright enough to do any of this without having his hand held. You can piss off. This is what the EHRC are praising. You can stay as long as you keep giving us your money and keep quiet. I bring Mandelson up because he famously said, you don't need to appeal to the left. They've got nowhere else to go with their votes. But that isn't true. As the latest by-election in West Lancashire showed, those votes can stay in people's pockets and not be cast at all. There are political alternatives for those who have already left in disgust or now plan to as well. I went to the Green Party. I'm now a town councillor, and it's been fantastic how welcoming of socialists that party has been, and certainly giving dreadful Labour figures headaches in parts of the country, the southwest where I am certainly amongst that, particularly in Bristol right now. As for Corbyn, I guess it remains to be seen what he does next. A man whose first act as Labour leader was to attend a protest in support of refugees and has been an MP since 1983, would be sorely missed in Parliament right now. Starmer's first act was to double down on those anti-Semitism claims. He can't go fast enough. Should Corbyn stand as an independent, though, every socialist worth their salt is going to descend on North Islington in support of him. I pity the fool Labour would put up against him. Starmer has done this to destroy him as a man, to delegitimise his politics for change that the country badly needs, that he once pretended to stand for too, elected Labour leader on a lie. The fight will go on against that. Starmer has simply made himself even more unpopular than ever before, and the support for Corbyn will just be doubled down on, whatever he chooses to do.